Zaldrizes buzdaris gosdau.
There's a bunch of A Song of Ice and Fire news that has been piling up over the past several weeks. Some of it has even broken today. In this video, I want to discuss that. We've got stuff from Winds of Winter to House of the Dragon Season 2. Before I jump into the contents of any of that, if you're a fan of my channel here on YouTube and my content has brought you some escapism throughout this year, it's been a crazy year, please subscribe to me here on YouTube. It's the #1 best thing you could ever do for anybody you're a fan of, not just me. Like, if you really enjoy people's content, subscribing will ultimately help them out the most. And also, in regards to this video in particular, if you enjoy it, if it's, interesting to you, slap a like on it. Like goal is going to be 420. Get it? Okay, so first things first, George R. R. Martin has updated us today in his notablog that HBO is moving forward with some animation projects. He mentions in the notablog post, as you can see right here, that he very much enjoyed Blue-Eyed Samurai. It's its own thing. He said it's magnificent. I personally have not seen it, but I am a big anime fan. I like pencil-style anime, so think like Yu Yu Hakusho, the original Naruto series, Dragon Ball from the 80s and 90s, Dragon Ball Z, right? Now, wait a second. Let me go back. Those are some really bad examples. I mean, those are good anime, but more so I was watching Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, the original Full Metal Alchemist series. I like the newer one better, but those were more along the style that I was thinking of. But it looked cool, right? So George, in watching that, made him want to do an update for some of the A Song of Ice and Fire shows that are going to be animated, right? So one of them is actually called The 9 Voyages. It's about Corliss the Sea Snake. That initially was going to be a live-action show, but it's now been switched to animation. Literally, it makes the most sense to do shows like Nymeria, 10,000 Ships, because she's in a place that we haven't really seen before, and she travels a lot, so the locations switch very much so with the 9 Voyages, right? So Corliss the Sea Snake show, called 9 Voyages, is going to be like a solitary kind of thing, where maybe be 1 or 2 seasons tops. It's a short series, and it chronicles what Corliss did on each one of these voyages. So supposedly each episode, maybe 2 episodes total, will focus on each voyage. And George mentions it is not a blog post. He's like, think about it. We're going to have to build a new seaport every week, like a different port. Most of the show is on water. Like George mentioned specifically, like from 1 week, they're going to go from Driftmark to Lys to the Basculus Isles to Volantis to Karth, right? Out of all of those places that I just lifted, the only place we've seen on screen so far is Driftmark and Volantis. Now, mind you, when we saw Volantis in Season 5 with Tyrion, when he was over in Essos, it looked awesome. We didn't get the real accurate book depiction because there's this massive black walls that are made out of dragon glass and obsidian that surround the inner part of the city of Volantis. But just imagine trying to build those new locations every week. Makes the most sense. George says this, that they're going to show it with animation. That's the only way you can see everything that he describes in his books. And in my opinion, makes the most sense. It's an awesome choice to have a show like The 9 Voyages become animated. Now, George does mention that both of the shows, both of the new animation series, and then also the Corliss, the Sea Snake show, 9 Voyages, it's still stuck in that development phase. It hasn't been greenlit, and there hasn't been like a first season request or anything like that. So as of right now, we just know they're working on the shows, probably building out storyboards and trying to figure out the best way to execute the storytelling. I can imagine we'd probably get a new update on this in the next 6 months. Now, real quick, this, like, when I was reading this, not a blog post, it made me question, like, are they going to do this with some of the other potential Song of Ice and Fire series? Like, they moved one that was going to be live action and moved it to animation. Is it possible that some of these other live action series that are supposedly in the works going to be moved to animation? It's possible. Maybe they're going to do that with the Snow Show spinoff. Like, I would actually hate that idea. I know I just explained how I love animation and stuff, but we've seen Kit Harington on screen. We need to continue that character. It would be totally different if he did the voice of the character, right? And everybody came back and just did the voices of their characters that are still alive. That, in my opinion, is extremely corny. Although at this point, since we've heard such little news on the Snow Show, I think that may be more likely than we realize. Let me know your opinions down below. Like, would you... Obviously, I'm going to watch it. Obviously, I would break down every episode of it, but I would not be happy. Like, the animation would need to be amazing. Like, it would need to be the same levels of Studio Ghibli or something. And even then, it would just be weird to watch a live-action character go to animation. But let me know what you think. Do you think they're going to do this with any other shows that are coming down the pipeline? Like, obviously, we know Dunkin' Egg is coming out, but maybe the Snow Show, is that going to be animated now? Let me know what you all think, if you'd like that. Or if you'd hate it, down below in the comment section, please. And then another update. They just keep on coming. This one was from a while back, right? So George actually wrote it in his notablog post on December 1st. December 6th. I can't read, sorry. It's called A Visit to Old Blighty. Now, George posted the update December 6th, but it actually happened. The events that he talks about happened back in October for Halloween. George was in the UK for Halloween and saw, remember the 5th of November, the fireworks. I don't know nothing about that. I just know that it was some sort of plot to blow up Parliament, and the dude from V for Vigilante was in it. But anyway, George mentions in this post, the most important thing, the most exciting thing, is skipping ahead a little bit because it's kind of a longer post. He says, I met with my British publisher to talk wild cards. That's what we're all excited about. You know, that poker book with poker players who have superpowers? Just kidding. He met with his Song of Ice and Fire British publisher to discuss A Song of Ice and Fire. And of course, the Winds of Winter. That's literally kind of all he says, right, about the Winds of Winter in it, except for he would have gone to visit a lot sooner, but the WGA strike put an end to that. So, like, the whole reason of him going to the UK was, yes, he met with his UK publisher for Winds of Winter and A Song of Ice and Fire, but also he met with Ryan Condal to talk House of the Dragon, which is another kind of update. I'll talk about that here in a second. But when he was over there, he mentioned that he would have been way sooner, but the WGA strike happens, and while that was happening, he said this before, I made a video on it, talked about it, he was working on Winds of Winter that whole time, walking the picket line. Technically, he's allowed to continue working on his Song of Ice and Fire novels because they are not part of the Writers Guild of America. It's just his work, right? It's his books that are completely separate. It's not part of his Writers Guild duties, right? So that was the other big Winds of Winter update, is that he was working on it the whole time the strike was happening, which was several months. And also, he's met with his UK publishers to discuss probably release dates, right? That's what I'm hoping. My big thing that I took away from all the Winds of Winter updates this year is that it's coming. It's still coming. It could be 2 years from now. It could be 6 months from now. We'll know, and George is going to announce it on his notablog. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is something I just mentioned, and then I want to talk about one more thing, and I'll wrap this video up. Thank you all so much for subscribing to me this year. This has been an awesome last few months with making YouTube videos and stuff, and all the news coming out for House of the Dragon. It's been a lot of fun, so thank you for, tuning in and watching my videos as much as you guys do. You're awesome, right? But George met with Ryan Condal, and when he did, he didn't even realize it, or maybe he did, who knows. He revealed the first ever backdrop to Harrenhal's Weirwood Tree. Now, this Weirwood Tree is 100%, at least I think, 100% not the same one as this Weirwood Tree from Season 1. If you look at the backdrop of this one from Season 1, it's got grass everywhere. Remember when Rainier and Alicent are sitting on it? It's got a grassy knoll. Rainier is a musician who I thought was Mushroom, but it's not Mushroom's playing her a lovely little song, right? And then you compare it with this one, and there's rocks everywhere. No green, right? There's no green on it. The roots are gnarled, twisted, massive crawling things that kind of sprawl out. And if you look at the stones behind it, right, one of them is broken. The one on the left, the stone on the left, is broken. You compare it with the one on the right. That means when you compare it with the general darkness around it, and then also that every single wall is missing cairns or is missing stones out of it, right? This is Harrenhal. This is George R. R. Martin went to go and visit the studio at Leavesden. He mentions how the Red Keep set is amazing. It's massive. He's never seen anything like it, and he's been to actual real-life medieval castles, and the Red Keep castle that they built at the Leavesden studio soundstage is better somehow, right? That's probably massive. Hopefully one day I'll get to go over there. I freaking highly doubt it, but it'd be really cool if I could. Anyway, it's awesome. Harrenhal, we get a tree. We get a glimpse of the Weirwood Tree. George also mentions that he's seen rough cuts for the first 2 episodes of Season 2 House of the Dragon. He says they're very dark. They make you cry. He mentions that he didn't cry, right? Because he's big, strong man. But his partner did. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, obviously, he created the world. He knows everything about it. I'm pretty sure they sent him the scripts and all that stuff. He knew what was going to happen. So, of course, he's not going to cry because it's not as, like, traumatic to him to watch it because he created these characters, right? But he does mention that it is extremely powerful, emotional, gut-wrenching, and heart-rending. I cannot wait to watch Season 2 House of the Dragon. And the last thing I want to mention for this video before I get out of here, real quick, Happy New Year. My birthday is tomorrow, so we'll be celebrating tonight, of course. But freaking Clint Liberty, the guy who's playing Adam of Hall next season, Season 2 House of the Dragon, one of the Dragon Seeds, posted a picture of something he got in the mail. It was one of those placard things where they snap and yell, cut. I don't know what they're called. Let me know down below in the comment section. But he showed, intentionally or unintentionally, what episodes he's in for Season 2, and that's awesome. I'm going to be addressing this more so when I drop my next leaked video in next week, but he's going to be in Episode 3, Episode 8, and Episode 5. And I think I already kind of confirmed that through discussing his plotline for the leaks. But thank you all so much for watching. Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all that stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a great year. I love you all. Alungat sa trisas pusdari iskos dawar.